Hello and welcome to Life is Feudal, Forest Village. Well, we had a real few mistakes made in the previous episode, so I need to still correct some of those. I mean, our pigs, we were doing really well on the pigs. We're now up to what, 18 of a maximum 20, and are starting to harvest those, so we are getting some meat from there. It's taken 3 attempts to get this pig farm up and running. Yeah. Then up here I was doing some terraforming. Completely messed that up because it ended up locking the building out. So all of the people who were living here couldn't find anywhere to live, and it was midwinter, so that didn't go to plan. But I've since cleared that place out, and I mean, these people are still living in pokey little huts. Basically, they're not really good places to be. They don't get any happiness. They don't contribute to well, realistically, they don't probably contribute to improving the population. So what I was going to do was I was going to replicate what I've got here down here. Then that way I could put all these lot on pause and get everybody to move down there. Then I could rebuild this area and get them to move back. But while I've been looking at this, I've got this hunting cabin here, and it's not really doing so well because obviously I've got a couple of foresters here keeping the area clear. If you keep the area clear, there's less chance of animals wandering in and then attacking your livestock. But it's kind of catch-22 because then it means that the hunters aren't getting enough animals, and basically these two in particular are pretty much wasted because the area that they cover is, there's just not hardly any animals at all. So I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start off what I suggested, which is to basically replicate this, pause this and get everybody moved. But then I'm going to extend the road out to here somewhere. Then I'll build a new set of these buildings, a new house for the people up here. That should be a lot more efficient because it'll still be in the forest area. It just means I'm moving the food supplies much further away from the people, but yeah, that's just one of those things really. I'm just going to have to do it. I still don't have any donkeys, unfortunately. I mean, so far we've got pigs and sheep, I believe. But yeah, the food's what's got me bothered the most. So I've got an instruction here in at the moment to build another farm. I wasn't going to do that, but I'm definitely going to do that now. I've got a couple of people I can spare, and we've got another 4 coming on stream. So I'm going to get another potato farm going because I really need. I seriously need more food. I don't know if it's a combination of like what 1, 2, 3, 4 people that aren't really doing much. I mean, we brought 12 people on stream. 12 of them aren't doing that much. 5 of them, I mean, not really, because we don't have any donkeys, this donkey farm isn't doing anything. So that's about almost half of the people I've got aren't really doing anything. So that's it's not helpful at all. So hopefully bringing this on stream should at least go somewhere. If it doesn't resolve their food issue, it should go somewhere. And then once I've got these people moved, we should start seeing more food coming in. More fruit and more meat as well. I mean, how are they doing now that we're out of the winter? We're starting to see it creep up a bit. Yeah, I mean, they're just ticking along, which is really bad. So I think what I'll do is, I mean, we're just ticking along, so I need to find somewhere out here where I can put a, well, let's see, I want a forester's hut. Or a forester's lodge, I should say. So it's not flat, this area. But I'm not too fussed as long as I can fit the buildings in. We're not overlapping. I mean, I suppose I could. Oh dear. So I've already lost somebody. That's not good. Right, so I'm going to put the forester's lodge there. I think what I'll do, actually, I'll get an order in to clear this place out because I need to see what I'm doing. I can't see much in here. Right, so there's the forester's lodge down there. Yeah, this is not helping me at all. I can't see. I'm going to speed this up, get them to clear the place out down there. Now, while that's going on, I mean, this house here is ready to go. It doesn't need much building, but I've got to leave it on pause. I can't risk letting a load of people coming on stream if I can't feed them. Right, so we're going to extend this. At least I'm going to try and extend this road out. Take the road out to about there and see what we can get from back here. So if we put a forester's lodge here, I think I'm gonna put it about there. See, that one's there, so if we put that one about there, it's about far enough out. So put that one there. And again, I can hardly see a thing. This is not helping. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Right, so I think that's it's okay. So right, I want another gatherer. I think that was a gatherer down there, was it? That's our gatherer. Hopefully I haven't broken their reach. So where's the gatherer? There's the gatherer. It's a bit too far in the sense we're going into the water, but it'll do. I mean, they've got quite a good reach actually. So put that there. We want our hunting cabin just. Actually, I haven't said that. Are they facing the right? I think they're facing the right direction. At least I hope they are. Otherwise, this is going to look a bit of a dog's breakfast. Right. So turn that one around. Get that one lined up with them. So that gets that building done. Then there was the herbalist, which is in here somewhere. Where's the herbalist gone? Oh, is that under municipal ones? Yes, that's the herbalist's hut. So that, which way do you face? So you face that way, so we'll turn you around. Put a herbalist hut there. So then we need our we'll need a barn there. So we need a barn and a warehouse. So topology's mucking it up. Oh, typical. I'm gonna have to terraform this. Oh, that's frustrating. Yeah, I'm gonna have to terraform it. Right, let's get a bit of terraforming done around here just so we can fit everything in. Right, let's see what's going on down here and see if anybody's bothered coming down here. There's only 3 people. I think they've... Look, I can't really quite tell. In fact, I can't see. I think so there's our... Yeah, there's our forester's hut lodge there. So I'll see what I can do. I mean, there's the road. If I've got the roadway, at least it gives me some idea. Right, so let's see. What are these two up to? You're eating and you're carrying food to the house. Okay, so nobody's doing anything. Okay. Fair enough. That wasn't what I had in mind, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it's getting a bit dark. Well, I think I'm just going to pause the video. Oh, I see. You're building resources to actually build a forester's lodge. Oh, fair enough. I'm just going to pause the video because I need this area clearing out. And then I can see a bit more clearer. So, once we're ready, I shall bring you back. Well, we're pressing on into early spring of the next year, and for both of these areas I've had to sort of like scrap things and start again, and then I've had to like terraform the areas because they just weren't flat enough and they were causing too many problems. So this area it's still getting some terraforming done. There's a few of the buildings are ready. Just waiting for this one to get built, and then once this is terraformed out I'll add the rest. The trouble is, all of a sudden I've just noticed the pigs are starving to death. They went through the oats at a rapid rate. I was gobsmacked. I could have sworn I had a lot more oats than that. Hopefully they'll survive, but I've switched this this field, I don't know, it was one of these two fields was producing hay, and I've switched them over to making oats, but whether these will survive or not, I honestly don't know. They've just gone through so much oats and there's just none left. It's annoying that. I've been so busy focused on like the food level, because that shot up to over 5,000, so it was a good call bringing in the farm to give us more potatoes. But yeah, I just totally forgot about the oats. I just assumed that there was enough oats to keep the pigs going, but that many pigs must have needed a lot of oats. As soon as it thaws out, I think what I'll do is I'll build another farm over in this area. I'll make a much bigger one, and I'll make it specifically for the oats, so that way the oats are down here rather than all the way over here as well. That's annoying, but up here I've just literally had to flatten the whole area and start again. I started putting things in, and I was getting to things like the warehouse and the barn, and it just wasn't working. So I'm back to terraforming, and I thought, well, since I'm going to do that, I'll get it to this level here. So these pigs are, whether these pigs will survive, to be honest, I don't think they will. There's just no oats left at all. It's going to be ages before these are ready, so I'm going to have to literally scrap this and start again. That's annoying. Even the chickens, yeah. Ah, struth. Oh well, it is what it is. So I'll have to recover that, and then I'll bring you back. So we've managed to get quite a few of our buildings put in place down on this southwest area. So we've got like our gatherer's hut, hunter's cabin, forester's lodge, herbalist, and they're all paused off. We've got a warehouse and a barn to go with them. So I'm just in the process of, you know, getting this house up here built. Up top, we've been doing quite a lot of terraforming up here. So far they've got a couple of the buildings done. So they've got the forester's lodge done. Well, actually got 3 of them done now. So we've got the hunter's cabin and the gatherer's hut. So there's the herbalist's hut still to be done, a barn and a warehouse. I'm just waiting for this lumberjack lodge to get done as well. Now there's places. I mean, we're in spring and I've got places setting on fire. Just I don't know why, because there's no like thunder. I can't hear any thunderstorms or anything. But I've had this place, the actual sawmill, set on fire, and then shortly afterwards the kiln set on fire. I've got an order in to build the pasture for the pigs. The chickens did survive. What I've done is I've put in a new farm here. It's an oats farm, but last year I completely forgot to turn it over to oats, so nothing got done. So these two little farms here, they managed to produce well over 700 oats, and they've actually lasted quite a while for the chickens down here. So hopefully that'll come on stream shortly, and they'll start getting us more oats, because I need to see how many oats I'll get from that one field, you know, before I start risking the pigs. But to make matters worse, there's a bunch of raiders landed. It's too dark to go looking for them, but I've noticed I've just spotted one there, and I think they might be the reason why that building there's set on fire. So the trouble is, I need to find somebody who can who I can take over and there. Right, we're going to use you, Madison, because we seriously need to get rid of these raiders. Yeah, they're just... The trouble is, you get like a notification to say that they've landed or something. Yeah, so you know, they've been spotted on the horizon. That's about it, and then by the time I've gone to look for them, they're gone. And then you get the notification to say that they've landed. It was just so dark, I just couldn't realistically go find anybody. It was just too dark to realistically be able to track them through the night and through the dark weather. Right. Hang on a minute. Oh, hang on a minute. What did you just... Did I just get you to drop something? Don't know what that was. Yeah, you go and take that back. Right, off you go. So hopefully that's the last of the raiders. But food-wise, I mean, we're back down to about close to about 3,000. We're into spring, so we're getting up to about 5,000 or so. But I noticed that warning's still there, so I'm definitely concerned about that. But until I get either the building here, well, I've got a house to build here, and I want that area up in the north sorted as well. I'm quite tempted, actually. I think what I might do is, I mean, I've got some instructions for terraforming to go on over here. I think what I'll do now is I'll just relocate these people instead of sending them down to the southwest and then back up here again. I think what I'll do is I'll just I'll get the house built up here. I'll just move these people over to here instead, and I'll leave that one in the southwest just for when I want to expand. So it's taking a good while because we keep running out of things like iron and stone, so I have to keep sending orders out because I don't have that many people spare. What I've done is I've freed up the herbalist and the healer just to give me a bit of room. One thing I've noticed, we're producing tons and tons of grain. We've only got one grain field. It's a little rinky-dink one down here. So it's a really small one, but we're producing so much grain and so much flour. It's way beyond the demand. So what I'm going to do is, I originally added in an extra miller to try and see if I could start using up that grain because it was filling up the barn. But there's not much point because we're just ending up with so much flour anyway. So I'm going to take that person off there to free up a bit of capacity because we don't have that many people. We've got people who are like dying of old age and so on. I actually had one of the hunters died of hypothermia during the winter. So we've got another 2 people, 59, so we're 2 people short, so we still need some babies to be born. But hopefully that frees up a bit of capacity so we can get more stone and iron. And then we can get some progress on these. I think what I might do, I think I might pause these 2 off. I'll bring these back on stream now. I mean, it's not ideal because the houses are... Where's their houses? The houses are over here, so it's not... They're a bit too far, but I think I'd rather do that now. Now this one here, because I've freed up the herbalist, it doesn't really matter about that. I can already put in a deconstruct order on that one. I'll pause that forester lodge off and I'll get that one going. They'll end up bringing everything down here, which isn't really all that good, but once these come on stream, we can get the lumberjack is upgraded to a sawmill and get all these people to move further north, and then I can start flattening this area. And then hopefully we'll be able to get a nice big building for these people as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to pause it there, and I'll bring you back once we've made some more progress. Well, we're really going to the wire now. I've decided to pause this house off for now. Let's keep that going. But the food levels are getting really low again. We started running out of wood because there was that much getting used up in the construction, so I've had some instructions out to go out and, you know, chop a load of trees down basically. But I mean, we're getting there. We've got most of these buildings now ready. We're just waiting for the sawmill to get built. But there's, I think everybody's a bit busy with the instruction to chop more trees down around here. Plus there's this terraforming order in here, so I can make this a nice flatter area going, you know, end to end. But because I'm so bothered about the actual food supply, I've brought another little farm on stream, and I've turned it over to potatoes. Oats, I'm not overly impressed with the oats. I mean, we've got 27 chickens and they seem to be going through tons of oats because we've now got this field here. Now there's 2 people looking after that field, and we've got about 300 after going through the winter. We've only got about 300 left, so there's no way I could risk bringing these pigs online if there's not enough oats to cover it all. So hopefully we now should start seeing more food coming through because of the potato field. Once that starts getting harvested later in the year. Once these orders to cultivate and terraform are through, hopefully the builder will then turn their attention over to here. But I mean, there's enough for 61 people, but we've only got 60 in total. We've had 1 or 2 die from old age and hypothermia again, so that's not ideal. But yeah, we're pretty close to the wire, as I say, so I'm just going to keep this running and we'll see how we do. So we've almost got our house here built, just needs a bit more work doing on it and then it'll be ready, and that'll give us enough for 10 people. As soon as that's ready, I'm gonna basically slow the game down, because the idea is I don't want like a population explosion. So as soon as that building's ready, I'm going to pause off these buildings here, these little, what are they, little huts I think they are, so that way the population level won't change. So everybody that was working, well, the trouble is you don't know where people live and where they work because they move around, unfortunately, so it's really frustrating. But pretty much everyone's been moved up here now because I've been pausing things off. All but there's like a kilner down there. I'm leaving them there because I've got a blacksmith down there and the houses are closer. So I'd rather leave that one down there. But the sawmill workers have all been moved up here. So just waiting for that house to be built. It shouldn't take too long. I should get a little message down there to say where it is. I'll pause the game straight away. But it's a bit murky to see anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the game off a bit because I need to wait for the weather to clear up so I can show you where we're going next. Well, I honestly don't know how it happened. I really don't. This house has been built. As soon as I got the message, I paused the actual game and put the pause orders in for the little huts down here, and then started the game back again. And straight away, I mean, I think it was like one person, Madison. I think she's like a labourer now. Yeah, Madison. She was complaining she had nowhere to live. So somehow, in that fraction of a second between me getting the message that the house was ready and me pausing the game, I think somebody, managed to get themselves knocked up. So that's just great, because it means I'm kind of stuck now. I've had to bring this little hut back online, but I've got decommission orders in for the rest. So yeah, it's real tricky at the moment trying to juggle all this because of got people dying of old age, and more importantly, I think it's hypothermia I'm really bothered about, because there's nothing I can do about old age, obviously, but there is something I can hopefully do about the hypothermia. But anyway, in terms of what I've been doing, I've got instructions in place to start decommissioning buildings. Let's see, so that warehouse there, it doesn't have much in it, so I can get rid of that. So I'm just going to put an order in now to get rid of it. I don't need it. This one here, I'm going to do the same there. All of that here could really go down here anyway. The only sticking point I think I've got is the barn, because the kilners and the blacksmith use it to put their produce in. We do get a bit of hide, which is interesting. I think that must have been around the time when these were had the hunters operational. But the idea is I want to clear out all of this area, so at some point I'm going to have to decommission that barn, and then what I'll do is I'll basically flatten the area out and replace it. I think I'll just get rid of the mine as well, because I'm not using it at the moment. I can't risk putting people into the mine because there's always a chance somebody might die. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this area. Now I can leave this little area to itself now, because we've got our sawmill going. We've got all our people in the little houses. What I've been doing over here is I've put in instructions to make a sheep farm. I've also added in a well, because we'll need to give them plenty of water. Now I don't think I must have been paying attention when I was making the pig farm, but if you go and select, you know, one of these pastures, it actually tells you what it is they're going to need to eat. So, for instance, you know, the sheep say that, like the sheep don't say anything really. For the sheep, it says they need the hay, whereas for the pigs, it's saying they do need the oats. So that's good. I mean, it means when this comes on stream, they'll be wanting they'll be wanting hay, and I've got plenty of that at the moment. But what I've done is to play it safe, I've opened up this little grass field here, and that'll give me more hay. So it means I'm now running with a lot more farmers than originally. These two, that one's still doing flax, that's doing potatoes. That's not too bad actually, because I think we tend to hit a low of about 3,000 now, so food wise we're doing quite well. Once these sheep come on stream, I should be able to start producing the warm clothing. Initially what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this weaver over to make warm clothing. They still need, you know, hide, flax, and now they also need the wool as well. But I'm going to get a dedicated one over here. I'll have to put a barn in. I think it's a barn. Let's just check. Yeah, so the flax goes in there. And so does the hide. So it means I'll put another barn in over on this side. I'll put in a farm that does the grass, another one that does the flax. And then I've got everything I need to look after the sheep over here. At this stage I don't know how many people I'll need to look after the sheep. I'll just have to wait and see once the place is built. Now as for the pigs, I mean, I'm getting quite a lot of oats, I must admit. A lot more than I thought. I mean, at some point it's been up to like 700 or so, and then it started coming back down, but we're up to 1300, so we're doing quite well, and we've got like all of the chickens now. So this is still on pause for now, because what I want to do is I want to build another field dedicated specifically for oats, just to make sure I can try and cover, you know, enough so that once these pigs come on stream, I've got enough to take care of them. I'll probably build another, you know, 18 by 12 field just specifically for oats, but I'm going to have to clear all of this area out first. I've already got a little area out here getting cleared, because one of the things I was finding with the hypothermia, at some point I think I got a hunter died of hypothermia. Now I'm not sure which hunter it was, but it could quite possibly have been this one down here, because if you look at the area they cover, some of it's up on this like hill area. They'll probably have to come all the way out here to then come out all the way out here just to cover these little areas for animals. Same goes for the forester as well. This one, they were actually going all the way up here and all the way down here and back again, and that's the problem with hypothermia, is like if you're out for too long you start getting cold, and then you've got to make your way back home. So if they're having to travel quite a distance to get to their job, and then they've suddenly got a massive distance to cover to get back home, there is a risk they can get hypothermia. So it's all the more reason why I want to get some warm clothing for them, because then they'll be able to survive longer. So I mean, I'm pretty much juggling jobs at the moment, trying to cover what's needed. So like I've paused off the donkey farm because, well, we don't have any donkeys, so I've just eventually paused it off, but I'm still really, you know, teetering on the edge in terms of like how many free people we've got to cover the jobs that I need doing. So what I'm going to do anyway is I'm just going to pause the video while all this lot gets done, and then once we're ready with the sheep I'll bring you back. Oh wow, this has been pretty brutal of late. I've been letting the game run for quite a while because I ran into a problem where the population went in a major decline. There's been a lot of people have been dying off of old age, and we're now just back up to having 50 adults, and I've hardly had any free labourers at all. We did actually manage to get the point where we've got our sheep pen built, but I've only just managed to get to the point now where I've been able to put the maximum number of herdsmen back in again. So all of this meat, all this wool has just been sitting gathering dust effectively, because there just wasn't enough people to look after it. The oat field here, I had to pull somebody out of here as well, because people were just dying off. I just didn't have enough to be able to cope and be able to get, you know, keep the meat, all the, you know, the other fields going for, you know, for vegetables that I need. There's just been nobody covering the fish farms for quite a while. We've even got to the point, I mean, I'm just literally having to pull people, you know, trying to decide which jobs to sacrifice to just to keep the food production going. But I mean, we have managed to be able to clear out quite a lot of areas. When we get to the winter, what I'm doing is I'm pulling everybody out of the fields, so that when I've got things like these terraforming orders in, they'll automatically go out and start terraforming the place, because I've been down to times where there's literally nobody in the labour force at all. So there's nobody getting this done during like the spring or the summer at all. It's or the fall. It's just going for very long periods of time where hardly anything's getting done. We're just ticking over through most of the year. I've also had to put in some orders as well to go out and gather some stone and iron ore out here, because I've still got this little hut down here, and what I'm thinking of doing now is I've got an instruction here to build a house, but I need a bit more iron and a bit more stone. But again, there's been nobody available to go and collect anything. So hopefully they'll go and sort that out. Now I mean, there's been quite a lot of terraforming has been going along, but it's just going to take a long time. And the pig farm is just going to stay on hold for quite a while. I mean, it's almost built, but unless I've got enough people to cover all the jobs, it's just not practical, because as soon as somebody dies off, it takes a while. Obviously, if you've got the kids, the kids grow up, then they go to school. Once they've gone through school, eventually then they're ready for the labour force. So there you go. So just had little Ellie just showed up. So yeah, so she's just showed up. So she's added to the workforce. So that really helps. But there's such a lot to do in terms of clearing this area out to get all the fields in that I need, to get in our extra weaver, and I definitely need iron. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here. I've got one person in the iron mine, just simply because I've been going for quite a while where there's just been no tools getting made. I didn't realise at the time, but the blacksmith, it's a bit of a pain, because the furnace down here uses iron ore to make cast iron, and the actual blacksmith's using cast iron as well as iron ore to actually make the tools. So tools have been in decline for quite a while as well, but I think we're slowly starting to make a bit of a recovery. So hopefully when we come back for the next video, we're ready to make some real progress. But I think that's about as far as I'm going to go, because we've now moved everybody up to here. I still need to finish this little area off and get it terraformed and tidied up. But it's just going to take forever and a day. I mean, we're getting there. All in good time, we're getting there, and I'm really glad we've now got our sheep. Just means that we can now start making our clothes here at the weaver. So we just depend on this weaver to get things done, but it's taking over like 2 minutes to get it done. So hopefully once we've got the population, we've got a weaver over here that's dedicated to that, things will start improving. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If so, then do please leave a like, as that'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more content, then yeah, do subscribe, but just remember to click that little bell icon, because that way you get notifications for when new content comes out. If you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback at all, yeah, do please leave that in the comment section below. But until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye!